Capitol Hill.
Republicans once again take on the Affordable Care Act. I'm Skylar Henry at the Supreme Court with a look at the partisan battle over health care and how it could impact millions of Americans.
And ready for a getaway? We've got tips to help you stay safe when you travel.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
President-elect Joe Biden will address the Affordable Care Act this afternoon, the same day the Supreme Court hears a case which could decide its fate. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, the presidential transition process has yet to formally begin because a government official refuses to recognize Mr. Biden's win. The General Services Administration agency head, Emily Murphy, a President Trump appointee, says she will not grant access to government agencies or funding, citing the need for a clear winner. This comes as the Trump campaign continues to file new lawsuits claiming voter fraud, and the Department of Justice says it will look into these allegations. Arguments are underway at the Supreme Court in a case that could put millions of Americans' health care coverage in jeopardy. The case, known as California versus Texas, challenges the constitutionality of the Affordable Care Act. It's the latest attempt to get rid of the 10-year-old law known as Obamacare. Skylar Henry reports from outside the Supreme Court.
Supporters of the Affordable Care Act rallied outside the Supreme Court Tuesday.
We all need to have access to quality, affordable health care as a baseline. Yes, yes? Yes!
Since President Obama signed the law a decade ago, it's been under attack. In 2017, Republicans succeeded in eliminating the tax penalty for not purchasing insurance, known as the individual mandate. Now a group of 18 states, along with the Trump administration, say that without a penalty, the individual mandate is no longer constitutional, and the rest of the law must be struck down.
They're arguing that the mandate in combination with the other provisions really caused their injuries.
California is leading a group of Democratic-controlled states urging the court to leave the law in place.
Either buy insurance or do nothing. That inoperative provision doesn't harm anyone, and it doesn't violate the Constitution.
The Affordable Care Act narrowly survived a Supreme Court challenge back in 2012, but now with a 6-3 conservative majority on the bench, many are concerned that the health care for more than 20 million Americans is in jeopardy.
Were you aware of President Trump's opposition to the Affordable Care Act?
Democrats cited the risk to the ACA as a reason for their opposition to new Justice Amy Coney Barrett's nomination.
I'm not here on a mission to destroy the Affordable Care Act. I'm just here to apply the law and adhere to the rule of law.
A decision is expected by late spring. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
Now, if the law is struck down, it would wipe away coverage protections for people with pre-existing medical conditions. President Trump has repeatedly promised to protect people with pre-existing conditions, but never presented a plan on how he would do it. First comes the rain and then the big chill. Michael Hayslip joins us with a first look at the forecast.
Very well, Ms. Bach. I will do it in your order of operations. We'll start with precipitation as we are now picking up some lightning in and around the Joplin and Neosho areas as the heavy rain now moves south of I-44, tracking off to the east. Now, as Tanya alluded to on the backside of it, it gets chilly. From the Freeman Health System sky camera right now, we started off the morning at 70 degrees. We now sit at 50, 20-degree drop from where we had the KOAM morning news, with the winds now shifting in from the west and coming in at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. Look at those temperatures up to the northwest, already dropping down into the low 40s. Now, luckily, we're about to stabilize just a little bit, but it gives you an idea that, I tell you what, when that cold front hit, the bottom did drop out of it. Now here's what we're going to have for this afternoon. You see a little sunshine there in the 4 o'clock panel. That's right, the cloud cover is going to clear off, and it's going to be a relatively nice yet chilly afternoon. Little rebound in temps, but really the cold front not enough to back down from the sun. Sunset at 5:11, and then after that, hello freezing mark. We're going to drop down into the 30s here as we progress from Tuesday night into a Veterans Day Wednesday morning. Coming up here in just a little bit, Tanya, want to talk about the historic start that we saw for 9 days before the cold front moved in, and we'll take a look at our rain totals because we were in dire need of it. We'd picked up absolutely nothing at Joplin Regional Airport since November 1.
All right. Yes, we definitely did need the rain, that's for sure. All right, thanks, Michael. Joplin city officials begin to see the results of their listening survey concerning the city's future. City manager Nick Edwards launched the survey earlier this year. Questions included, what is something Joplin could do better? And what would you like to see change in Joplin over the next 5, 10, and 15 years? Officials say the survey received nearly 1,400 responses. The city manager and council plan to go over the responses at a November 30th retreat. 4 state communities are finding ways to continue holiday traditions as we continue to deal with the pandemic. KOAM's Zach Dodge has details.
The sights and sounds of a great parade. They're what let you know that it's finally the holiday season filled with fun and tradition. Something we could all use after a tough year. And 2 communities are making sure they happen even if they have to look a little different.
This year is a lot about adapting and not just simply canceling events, so we wanted to adapt.
In Joplin, the theme for the 50th annual Christmas parade will be Cruising to Christmas, where the idea has been flipped on its head. This year, floats will stand still, and residents of all ages will be invited to cruise down Main Street and get in the Christmas spirit.
People can be safe in their cars, but still, entities and individuals and floats can enter the parade and have their normal festivities. So to me, it seems like a perfect balance under these extraordinary circumstances.
Pittsburgh is also doing a reverse drive-by parade through Lincoln Park, and they're encouraging a lot of creativity to make it a night that no one will forget.
Whether it's kind of putting on a scene as the people are driving by or doing more dancing even potentially could be something that is fun for our patrons to see as they drive by. So creativity is definitely where it's at this year.
Pittsburgh's also making all entries free so that no matter what, we can mark the end of the year on a good note.
Just not having it, of course, it wasn't an option. This is a tradition.
Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Well, neither Pittsburgh nor Joplin's parade will allow candy or handouts. Pittsburgh's parade will be on November 30th and Joplin's is on December 1st. And that's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, safe travels.
What hotels and Airbnb are doing to try to keep guests safe during the pandemic. I'm Wendy Gillette. I'll share some of the new procedures.
And later, we're making apple cinnamon rolls in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. The pandemic lockdowns began about 8 months ago, and if you haven't taken a getaway, you may be eager at this point. But how do you make sure you choose a safe place to stay? Wendy Gillette shows us some coronavirus precautions hotels and Airbnb are taking.
Good afternoon, Judy. Good, thank you.
From check-in,
safe travels and be well,
to check out, nothing about a hotel stay is quite the same during a pandemic. Dr. Stacy Rizza says that's the way it should be. She's an infectious disease doctor at the Mayo Clinic, which advised Hilton on its coronavirus cleaning and disinfection protocols.
Personal safety is essential as we're reopening our society and reopening our businesses and industry.
When I'm walking into a hotel room, what do I need to do to keep myself safe?
Well, when I walk into a hotel facility or into the room, I'd want to see that in the lobby and in the public areas, everybody is masked, particularly the employees. There's appropriate social distancing in the congregate communal areas and appropriate cleaning of each of the rooms.
Hilton's Clean Stay program includes marking clean rooms with a sticker. Marriott is disinfecting rooms nationwide using electrostatic foggers. Dr. Rizza says you should check a hotel's website to make sure its cleaning procedures are clearly spelled out.
Is there anything I need to bring with me into a hotel room these days?
Well, if the hotel is doing all the appropriate measures and doing the disinfecting and cleaning, your room should be clean for you when you come in. Some people feel more comfortable bringing cleaning products with them.
The Mark was the first luxury hotel to reopen to guests in New York City this summer.
The hotel gives guests a safety kit at check-in. It includes a face mask, hand sanitizer and gloves, and wipes.
In the lobby, arriving guests get their temperatures checked. And high-touch areas like elevator buttons are disinfected at least once per hour. If you're staying at an Airbnb, the company has also reworked its cleaning protocols for hosts with the help of a former Surgeon General. It's a 5-step plan: prepare, clean, sanitize, check, reset.
There's a distinction between cleaning
and hygiene.
Senior Vice President Chris Lahane.
People have always been concerned about making sure that they had a healthy and clean place to travel to, but now more so than ever, 3 in 4 of our guests say that health and safety is really driving the decisions that they are making when they are looking to travel.
Airbnb says more than 60% of Americans are interested in booking stays within driving distance of where they live. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, New York.
Airbnb predicts domestic locations, including stays in national parks, ski and beach towns, will continue to be popular next year. Still to come on the KOAM News at Noon, Mr. Food.
If you love warm apple pie, there'll be no holding back from these. Yes, they're that good.
But first, Michael Hayslip returns with your complete and changing forecast.
Good things come to those who wait. So much for the warmth that we had for the first 9 days of November. I want to point this out, our average high on those first 9 days. We talked about it yesterday, how 2020 coming in 5th highest on record. This is at Joplin Regional Airport. And I found this interesting as well. When we talk about the average low, look at number 1 and number 2. Very cool nights in 2005 and 1980. So when we factor out our mean temperature, 2020 ends up number 3 on the list. So much for 9 days. Let's talk precipitation and the cold front that arrived with it. Right now, the biggest change that we're seeing, along with the heavy rain that's now into Newton County and along I-44, is a whole bunch of lightning, even right here. In the past 10 to 15 minutes, this has been picking up strikes. We've got a whole lot down by Grove as well, and then heavy rain stretching all the way into the northeastern 4 state counties. Could be much worse, though. I'll tell you what. This thing really wanted to blow up after it got past Kansas City. See the yellow area right there? Severe thunderstorm warnings right now. If I know my central Missouri geography, that's going to be about Cole, that's going to be Callaway, that's going to be Boone County, right there in central Missouri. And then look, the orange indicating the severe thunderstorm watches that stretch all the way from Iowa into Illinois. We lucked out. You know, the rain rolled through. We needed the precip. We got anywhere from about a little inch and a half right here in portions of Labette County. Got that diagonal line. That green's going to indicate a little bit more than an inch. Everybody else really picking up about 1/10 to maybe half an inch. We needed the rain, but we were able to escape any watches or warnings when it rolled through this morning. Now we can talk about the cold returning. 43 in Yates Center. They started out at 67 this morning, and even Aurora and Cassville hanging on to the 60s, about to drop down into the 50s and eventually the 40s with everybody else. So when we talk about when the cold front arrived in Joplin, wham, there it is. Beautiful morning. It was just absolutely gorgeous, and it right there. 9 to 10 a.m. when it rolled through. And when we talk about where we were at this point in time yesterday, almost a 30-degree difference throughout most of southeast Kansas. And now we even see a double-digit difference between Aurora and Cassville. What happened was the big trough of the jet stream that was digging down in the southwest yesterday, big northeast movement right there, and that allowed the cold weather and the thunderstorm activity on that leading edge to push down. And eventually, it's actually going to end up in central Arkansas, so it's not done yet. Quick look at Ada, still a tropical storm, rebounded back, hit Cuba for the second time. And speaking of second times, on Sunday when it made landfall at the Florida Keys, we're actually looking at 1 week difference between it trying to make landfall again in the Florida Panhandle. We're actually going to get some sunshine this afternoon. The sun just not enough to overcome the cold front, though, as our temperatures are going to stabilize in the high 40s, low 50s. But now overnight, I need everybody to be wary because we're going to get really close to the freezing point. We'll actually see some right at 31, 32 up to the northwest. I think everybody else is going to be about 34, 35. So bundle up, get the furnace ready this afternoon and evening because you're going to want it. Beautiful Veterans Day, though. You know, pretty typical November temperatures there with a daily high around 60 about 3 p.m. and a whole bunch of sunshine. And then really not too bad till the rain reemerges on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, sounds... Well, we needed the rain, so it's coming.
Yeah, and Friday and Saturday are going to help too. Like I said, just if you're out and about tonight, bundle, bundle, bundle.
That's for sure. All right, thanks, Michael. We take this time to honor today's 4-state hero, Sergeant Vannie Green in the U.S. Army. The soldier from Walker, Missouri, joined the armored tank crew in 1949 and was stationed in Germany until 1952. Green earned the National Defense Service Medal, 4 Army service ribbons, and the Army National Guard recruiting badge. To Sergeant Vanny Green, we thank you, our 4th state hero. Your favorite cinnamon roll gets a whole new fall taste with the addition of fresh apples. Howard shows us how to make a super simple version in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
For the last month or so, our markets have been brimming with some of the best apples we've had in a long time. So to take advantage of all that goodness, we came up with a super easy, fresh as can be treat that'll be the apple of everyone's eye. We start off by peeling, coring, and cutting a couple apples into wedges. And as for the type of apple, I'd like to use Granny Smith, but really any firm apple will work. Now we place each apple slice on a piece of refrigerated crescent roll dough that we've cut in half and roll it up like so. Once all of these are rolled up, we place them on a rim baking sheet, drizzle them with some melted butter, and sprinkle on some cinnamon sugar. We'll finish it off with a splash of orange juice before baking them off. When the crust is golden and the apples are sink your teeth into tender, they're done. Let me tell you, these are just as good with your morning coffee as they are with a glass of piping hot cider. To get this fun recipe, simply go to our website and type in apple cinnamon rolls. It's that easy. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found an appleicious way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4 state market prices.
Give it about another hour, 45 minutes, we'll be done with the rain. Remember, bundle up tonight as our temperatures are going to drop down into the 30s, close to the freezing mark, especially when we get into Veterans Day. But hey, by the time we get to celebrate those who have served our country, sunny skies and temps in the 60s. Now, over to Down with a look at what's coming up tonight at 5.
Yeah, Apple's expected to introduce new Mac computers with a big change today. Why these new devices should be cheaper and more compatible with iPhones and iPads. Plus, new leadership in Ottawa County, Oklahoma. The new county commissioner and sheriff talk about their transition in their new roles. And we'll introduce you to the newest member of the Jasper County K-9 unit, Arner. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's all coming up today on KOAM News at 5.
All right, thank you, Dow. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at Noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.